Choosing the right flavor for your product can be quite a challenge, especially if you're using ingredients like stevia, CBD, vitamins, minerals, plant-based protein, or adaptogens. In this video, we are going to show you 6 simple steps to ensure that your food and beverage product become a success when it comes to flavors. Step 1. Flavor research. To get started, you are going to do some research on the flavors that may work well with your product and your target consumers. Take a peek of what kind of food and drink they enjoy, their favorite restaurants, takeaway, and street food markets. The better you understand your target consumer taste buds, the easier it will be to choose flavors that they will enjoy. The next thing you want to do is to look at the culinary culture, familiarity, and traditions of the country where you're launching your product. And you may be wondering why. Well, flavors are more likely to be successful if they can be associated with existing combination of flavors or products. And that principle works really well with flavor pairing. Another aspect that is often overlooked is how consumers perceive and expect flavors. Our brain is wired to compare new information with what you already know as a way to ensure our safety. So when we consume a product, our brain naturally asks itself, does it taste like something I have before? That's why it can be very difficult to accept new ingredients or cuisine. One effective way to address this is by giving consumers the chance to taste different products and understand their memories and expectations associated with these products. And finally, check out flavor trends. The goal is not to alienate your consumers, but offering them something unique that stands out from the competition. One great way to do that is to take a classic flavor and give it a twist. So combine a surprising and exotic flavor with a well-known and loved one. And that works really well with accepting new flavors as we just mentioned before. Step 2. Formulating the base. Before ordering or using flavorings in any recipe, food or beverage, think about the ingredients and their quantities and their impact they will have on the flavor profile and intensity. Each flavoring contains dozens to hundreds of aroma compounds, and each of them has its own physical and chemical properties. For example, some of them are small, some of them are large, some of them are hydrophilic, some of them are hydrophobic. And these properties have a huge impact on the affinity each aroma compound has with the product, including water, alcohol, fat, protein, and carbohydrates. But in some cases, the bond between the aroma compound and the ingredient is so strong that the aroma compound never reaches our olfactory receptors at the back of our nose. It just gets trapped in the base. To be sure you know everything about your product, use a decision tree to map every single factor, such as potential ingredients, interaction, process degradation, packaging, storage, distribution, everything that can positively or negatively impact the flavor profile and the intensity of your product. From there, evaluate the cost and the taste implication of each choice. That will allow you to make informed and science-based decisions. Using a decision tree is the perfect opportunity to reconsider your approach to flavors and rethink your strategy. Taking the time to do this step at the beginning of your project will save you time and avoid problems in the future. Step 3. Flavor selection. The classic flavors like chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry will not always go nicely with your product, especially if you add the ingredients we mentioned before, like vitamin, minerals, vegan protein, or ashwagandha. These ingredients can add not only bitterness and astringency, but also unpleasant flavors. That's why you need to develop the base and understand your product flavor profile first to be able to select the right flavors from your previous research. Use tools like flavor profiling and flavor pairing to help you narrow down the list of suitable flavors for your products, and it can also boost your creativity. These tools are also great because they improve conversation within your business and with your partners when it's time to select and request flavors. So what makes a successful flavor pairing? A balance of basic taste, flavor profile, and overall intensity, the right amount of similar aroma compounds between the base and the flavor, mentioning the flavor on packaging to shape expectations, and a cognitive link to pre-existing association with flavor combination through food and beverage culture and tradition and individual flavor exposure. Once you have selected the flavors that will be great fit for your product, take ownership of the flavor profile within your business, instead of relying on flavor suppliers or co-manufacturers. After all, would you let someone build your house without your input? Flavors deserve the same level of attention and consideration. That's why tools like flavor mapping allows you to define code and characteristic of a flavor, identify the best flavor direction for your product, establish benchmark product, and create a comprehensive brief for flavor suppliers, contractors, and co-manufacturers. I have put all of the link in the description box below. Step 4. Brief. When working with flavor suppliers, contractors, or co-manufacturers, it is important to involve them early in your project. This way, you can effectively tap into their insight regarding the flavors you're choosing. You can also reach out to consultants like us. Once you're ready to request flavors, make sure to give them a detailed brief. This brief should contain a lot of information about your product, including any research finding, your target consumers, project deadline, cost consideration, and product and flavor specifications. By following these steps closely, you can reduce errors and the need for future adjustments. Step 5. Tasting. Tasting is a super important part of the product development process, but is often overlooked in the food and beverage industry. But we are changing that. Create a structured approach to your tasting sessions. This way, you can gather loads of useful data, increase the accuracy, and at the same time create a positive and collaborative atmosphere within your team. Your palette is a pretty powerful tool, and it's time we start making the most of it. I won't go into too much details here, as we have made a video with 10 amazing tips on tasting. You should definitely check it out. Step 6. Validate. Consumer tasting may not always be necessary given all of the work that goes into this flavor process. But it's important to remember that flavor validation should never be one person's decision. Instead, it should be done as a team and guided by flavor criteria developed during this flavor process that match what the target consumers want. This means considering questions like, does the flavor meet the consumer expectation for that specific taste? Does it match the selected flavor profile? Does the flavor align with the given brief? Also, keep in mind that the people tasting your product internally may not always be the same as your target consumers. By following these 6 steps, not only you do elevate your game around flavors, but you also ensure successful flavors that align with your target consumers' preferences. Make sure to give careful consideration and follow structured process so that you can create the best flavor possible. I know, it can seem like a lot, but it's definitely worth it. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comment below or contact us directly. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about food science and flavors, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bye!